Welcome back to Mountain Connections, everybody. Thursday is Health and Awareness Day, and here to talk about kind of a alternative way to kind of reshaping your life and maybe getting you back on track in a healthier, more naturalistic way. Dannielle Bryan is here to talk about life with the Shamanic Twist. Thank you so much for being on the couch this morning. So I just throwing it out there, what exactly do you do? Because I find this interesting.
Right. And my title, you know, a master practitioner of shamanic energy medicine, doesn't really describe what I do, right?
Okay.
It can sometimes leave more questions. So what I do is I work with people one-on-one, and I also teach classes. And my practice is rooted in the principles and practices of the shamanic path, specifically of South America, in the Andean culture of Peru. Because there are many, many different shamanic paths, actually. And what I've been trained to do and what I do is look at the body holistically in its four-body system. So we have our physical body, our mental, emotional body, our spirit, soul body, and our energetic matrix.
So we're talking about like chakras at this point?
We are. We're talking about chakras. So I work through the chakra system when I'm working with a client, and we'll look at whatever they have going on. So some people come because they have old looping patterns, right? Don't we all recognize an old looping pattern when we find ourselves in life saying, oh my God, this again? Right? So an old looping pattern, a belief system that takes us right up to an edge where we get caught in the rigidity of how we think things are or how they need to be. Looking at physical trauma, if we have a disease or we have something happening physically in our body, it affects our mental, emotional body, our soul aspect, and it's laid down in our field energetically. So depending on what people have going on, you know, we're always looking at all four body systems. And so what I have been trained to do and what my skill set is to say, okay, you have this happening, you have this going on, how is it affecting you in your life, what are the patterns that are playing out around it, and where is the energy bound, and what's the belief system behind it. Right? Most of our stuff has a belief system behind it. And so we look at that, and then we clear the energetic binding. And what that means, you know, everything is frequency and energy. And we know this, you know, our science has caught up with ancient ways of healing, right? So for thousands of years, people have known this, and they've come to their healing practice knowing that it's energy and it's frequency and it's density. And now we have science that has caught up with what has been passed down through traditions, oral traditions in different cultures. So we can look at the frequency of something, the vibrational state of something, and say, if you're vibrating at a low density, this is what's holding a pattern in play. And a belief system actually has a density, it has a vibratory state. So if we want to shift things, if we want to see our external life change, we have to change it inside. We have to shift what is happening internally, so then we begin to cultivate and shift what's happening externally. Whether that's your physical health, whether that's mending a broken bone even, or it's an old looping pattern, trauma gets laid down in our field. And not just trauma in terms of like I was in a really bad car accident trauma, but perceived trauma.
I find this stuff interesting because it was funny about a month ago, I had two people kind of call me out and be like, dude, you're very negative in life. And like, I kind of have self-deprecating humor. I do it all the time on my shows. And yet I had two people kind of come out and be like, dude, you're so negative. It's kind of hard to be around you. Like, if you start to think little positive thoughts, that's going to start changing your life. Because I was kind of getting down in life, and you know, I have a history of bipolar and everything. So I was like, oh, it's just my mental state and everything. And they're like, no, just wake up and think about being happy. Just make one happy thought. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. And we did this thing with like a number where it's like on scale of 1, which is like you're going to go off the deep end at any moment, to 10, where you're in nirvana. What's your happy level? And so like every day I was just like, all right, what's my number today? What's my number today? And slowly I started to progress that number, and slowly I started to think happier and happier thoughts. And it was like, life just seems starting to get better. And so it's crazy because it's like, you know, we kind of have this perceived notion in America these days where it's like, you're not feeling happy, here's a pill, take it. When it's like, no, all you need to do is sometimes just think a happy thought, and then that's going to start kind of echoing throughout your life, and you're starting noticing good things. And because there is a common denominator when you're like, oh, this is bad, this always happens. Well, why does it always happen? There's one person in your life that's like So I love this stuff and kind of realigning. I want to talk about this vibration that you were just talking about, because how does one change their vibrations in life? Is it just like, all right, we're going to sit down, we're going to get like a bell and you're done? Like, what do you do?
Right. Okay. How one changes their vibration.
Yes.
And the thing is, Conrad, there's many different ways to change your vibration. So what I do is one path of many. Okay. So this isn't the only way, but it's the way that I work with it. Right? So you change your vibration literally by allowing yourself to access a different emotional state, a different frequency state. Okay. So frequency is vibration. So where are we vibrating and what is the frequency of the vibration? And so the way I work with it is you come to me, we talk about what's going on, what's happening, you get on my table, we look at what chakra, energy center it is that's holding the bulk of the density of whatever is happening in your life. And we begin by literally changing the vibratory state of it. So I work with rattles, I work with crystal bowls, I work with bells, I work with sound. Sound is frequency, right? So if we want to change that density, we want to access the energetics of the vibratory state, and we physically change the vibration, right? But it's all energy. So it's this really interesting place. And we talk about, we use words and we talk about, okay, let this go, let it unwind, allow for it to shift. And as that's happening, it will change your vibratory state. So clients often leave saying, I feel different. And what happens when we feel different, so we have our physical body and we have our subtle energy body. So we have our mental, emotional body, our spirit, soul body, and our energetic matrix, which makes up the vast multidimensional aspect of ourselves. And it's that same, like what you were speaking to, that your thoughts will change how you feel, right? Because it will follow suit. And if we have a low vibrating energy field, it will inform your mental, emotional, which will inform your physical. So sometimes your thoughts are actually informed by what's held in your field. Okay, so it's a two-way street.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what I do is look at your field and say, what's happening in your field? Where is there a bind or a density or chaos or intrusion in your field that's actually informing your mental, emotional, which is your thinking state, which is informing your physical state, which now your physical body is vibrating at a lower density, which then in turn is going to go back and re-inform the loop to your mental, emotional body and your soul body, and it's going to re-inform how it's anchored and held in your energy field. So I know we're kind of getting out there, but this is how it works, right?
And this isn't just like a thing that's like, oh, this what happened last Tuesday. This is something that's been passed down from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime.
Lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. It's family systems. You know, in the classes that I teach, the Medicine Wheel program, we move through the 4 cardinal directions, so south, west, northeast. And in the west direction, we talk about the karma, so passed down lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, and the genetic storyline. So it's passed down through our family systems and through what those family stories are as well. And we actually hold the vibrational state of what those family stories are, because guess what? Your body was grown with genetic information from your mom and dad that has its own storyline. It's fascinating.
No, this is crazy, and I think one thing I'm kind of getting from this that I'm really kind of latching onto right now is the fact that you're actually addressing a root of the issue, and it's not just, all right, we're going to give you something that's going to help you while we try to dig deep. It's like, no, we're going to dig deep right now. We're going to find out the root of the issue, and we're going to try to fix that instead of being like, here's this topical thing that, you know, and crisis will help you. Because that's one thing that I think people kind of forget with medicine is, oh, this thing's going to help me numb the pain for now, but am I actually working on the root of the issue that's causing all this, you know, physical, mental, or spiritual harm?
Absolutely. We get right down, you know, I'm always curious what's underneath that, what's underneath that, what's underneath that, right? So you're going to come and you're going to tell me what's happening, and it's the thing that's typically most on the surface, right? Because that's our pain point oftentimes. And then the curiosity is, okay, so what's underneath that, and what's underneath that, and what's underneath that? So we get down to the root of what it is, and oftentimes, Conrad, at the root of what it is our belief system and our vibrational state of what is happening. And we can address it topically, but we still will carry that vibratory state.
Yeah.
So that's where we tend to run into this issue where it's like, but I'm doing these things on the surface and it's not changing.
Right.
Right.
That's because you're on the surface.
And it has an effect, right? Yeah. There's that place where it's like, okay, it feels better for a while,
right.
But then it will circle back around at some point.
It's going to keep coming back up, and I think, you know, because I can speak for this where, you know, I've been on meds since I was 13, where it's like, I have this med that's helping me, or I'm not really fixing the issue. All right, now time for the new med because this one's running out. All right, time for the new one. It's like, yeah, but I'm not actually getting to the deep down point that's really causing me to keep changing these these meds. And the fact that it's like from day one, you're like, we're gonna dig deep. We're gonna find out. This may be a little, you know, not intrusive, but you know, we make it very deep, and what we're figuring out is good. That's good to do.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to mine that stuff. You know, we talk about in the shamanic path that when we're willing to go into those hard to see places and those places we've been avoiding, you know, because we're afraid of what's in there, really.
It can be scary, it can be terrifying.
But when we're willing, when we're courageous enough to turn in that direction and say, okay, what is really in here? What comes out of that exploration is the richest medicine. And this is where we use the word medicine, because medicine, what is medicine? Medicine means that you cultivate internally that which is your resource and your own healing balm, right? And it allows for it to shift at that level, which then changes the way you walk in the world, and it changes the way you hold the world. And how we hold the world, is self-fulfilling prophecy, right? It's all in how you hold it, and it sounds simple and cliche.
It's true though.
But it's true.
I mean, yeah, and that kind of goes back to the theme where it's like, man, life is hard, life sucks, you know, I like the rain keeps falling on my parade, and it's like, that keeps happening all the time. It's like, well, yeah, you're kind of fulfilling your own prophecy when you keep saying it's going to happen, it's going to keep happening. And so
we're creating all the time. So what do you want to create?
Create something good. If people want to find out more about you, get involved, because I know you have a trek that's coming up pretty soon to South America. Right?
Peru. Actually, the dates are being pushed back, so it's not going to happen in July of this year. But yes, we are going to Peru. That's TBD. And but I teach classes. I have different classes on the medicine wheel, the practices and principles. I'm going to start offering classes at Enlightened Wellness in Prospector in June on shamanic meditation and journeying. So how to take that practice into a place where we understand our energy anatomy, we understand how to access it, and actually have it work on our behalf, right? Because these machines and our physicality and our energetic anatomy are amazing allies in our creation.
Where can people go to get more info on you?
ShamanicTwist.com.
ShamanicTwist.com.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, we could talk forever.
Yeah,
I mean, I believe we've been talking for like 10 minutes already, and I could keep going on and on.
Yeah.
So I think what you're doing is absolutely fantastic, and I think it's something people should kind of maybe give a try if they're just kind of in a rut in life. So Dannielle, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for Mountain Connections. Thank you, everybody, for watching on this Thursday. We're going to have Mountain Connections tomorrow with Shannon running right now on Friday. That's going to do it, everybody. Thank you for all our guests coming on. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time on Mountain Connections.